Hey guys, I'm going to give it just a minute for a few more people to hop on. Just make sure that you guys are muted and we will get started in just 1 minute. All right, everybody, I'm super excited to get started on this Instagram 101 training. For those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Janina, and I have been involved in social marketing for close to 8 years now, which is so crazy to think about. But things have definitely changed over the last 8 years, and specifically in the last year with social media and with Instagram and just through the pandemic, the way that we connect with people has been so different. And so I have had to personally shift and revamp and do things differently in my business. So I've done a lot of this training and learned these things myself and decided that I wanted to help other people that are kind of in that same boat of, okay, well, I have connected with my immediate people. I have connected with my personal network. I've connected with the people that know me. And now I want to connect with other people because I know actually there's several of you that are on here that I've connected with primarily through social media that I've never even met in person, or maybe I met in person after I connected with you on social media. And it's just beautiful friendships that are being built, and it's so much fun to be able to connect with people in that way. So I am just absolutely thrilled to be able to offer this for you guys and connect with you on Instagram training specifically today. So what is Instagram? This is very 101. So if you have never had an Instagram, don't know what Instagram is or any of those things, we're going to cover those things here. But Instagram is a social media platform that emphasizes photo and video sharing via mobile app. You can take, edit, and publish visual content for both followers and non-followers as long as your account is public. Put it in the chat who here already has an Instagram account or who is brand new. And if you want, you can put your Instagram name in the chat and you guys can follow one another as well and just kind of support everybody. So now that we know a little bit of what Instagram is, why would we use Instagram? And the main reason is there's over 1 billion active users. So why would we not want to connect with these people and just, have more of our ideal client and connect with people who are like our tribe? Why would we not want to do that and find these people on Instagram? So Instagram has the highest engagement rate out of all social media platforms. That means you can get more likes, followers, and comments with more ease than any other platform. The next point is 75% of Instagram users have purchased a product that was being sold or advertised on Instagram. So a lot of us have been doing our business primarily either in person or on Facebook, and that's great. That's how I built my business as well. But Instagram, people kind of expect to be sold to a little bit more on Instagram than they do on Facebook. They don't go to Facebook to see content, to potentially buy a product. Whereas on Instagram, I feel like that's kind of taken the place of Pinterest a little bit. You can search different hashtags, find different things, find products that you're looking for. People will share their outfit. You can follow, content creators that share home things that they love, and they'll share their links so that you can buy things. So people primarily will go to Instagram, or at least aren't offended when somebody is trying to sell something on the Instagram, right? So with that being said, if over 1 billion active users are on Instagram, your ideal client is on Instagram as well. The people that you want to connect with and build a relationship with and have as potential customers as well are also going to be on Instagram. So we want to be on Instagram as well, if that's where they are. Oop, let me go back real quick. We skipped a few slides. Took me all the way to the end. All right. So setting up your Instagram account, how to, and what kind of account should I have? So first of all, you definitely want to set up your Instagram account on mobile versus desktop. Instagram was not built for desktop, so it's going to be very hard to use your desktop instead of using your mobile app. So my husband actually does graphic design and does a lot of like social media for churches and his business and other different things like that. And he got so frustrated because he couldn't really post to Instagram on desktop the way that he would on mobile. And, you know, he's creating all of his content and everything on desktop as a graphic designer. And he's like, why isn't this working? And I'm like, well, Instagram really just wasn't built for that. So you definitely want to get the mobile app and do as little as you can on desktop. I will check my messages sometimes on desktop, but that's about as far as you can get. It doesn't really let you do a lot of things. The next one is a private versus public account. There really is no purpose to having a private account if you're trying to sell something on Instagram, because you're only going to connect with your followers. And chances are those are the same followers that you have on Facebook, the same people, maybe your family or close friends are going to be on there. So if you're trying to increase sales and you're trying to connect with more people that are going to see your product and purchase your product, you're definitely going to want to have a public account and not a private account. And the way that you can check that is you can actually just go into your settings and you'll be able to see there if it's set to private or public. And again, you can put your username in the chat and we can all kind of check that out. And if somebody's like, hey, I went to your page, I tried to follow you, but it was private, I wasn't able to see anything, then you kind of know there as well. All right, so the next one is, would you rather or should you have a business account, a personal, or creator? So who in here has a personal account and who has a business and who has a creator? I'm curious what type of accounts everybody already has. I know for me, I started with a personal account and that seemed like the easiest way to do things because I could connect that automatically to share to my Facebook. And also with the personal account, it just made more sense. And the other thing is with a personal account, you kind of get a little bit more access to different sounds and stuff in your reels. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more, but it just seems like most people when they're just starting out have a personal. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So personal account. Brenda said she has a business. So I have a business account as well. And this is why I love creating content ahead of time and scheduling content out so that I'm not sitting there every single day thinking, what am I going to post about today? What should I post about today? What am I going to do? I like to batch create my content and schedule it out so that I'm not locked on my phone every single day and I'm not sitting there staring at Instagram all day long, because it can really get to be a full-time job very quickly if you allow it to be. So I've had to start planning out my content. And the only way to do that, so with the Facebook Creator Suite, that will allow you to plan content and share it to Facebook and Instagram. And you can only do that if you have a business account. So same with Canva. With Canva, you can automatically share things to your Instagram from Canva, which is really cool, but you have to have a business account in order to do that. The other thing with the business account is right now, Instagram is pushing content for business accounts more than personal or creator. There's been a huge burst in creator accounts ever since they added the option, because it used to be where it was just a personal or a business account. But now that they've added creator, a lot of people have been switching to that. So when you have a lot of creator accounts, it's harder for Instagram to know which accounts are the best ones to push out of that. But when you switch to a business, because there are less business accounts on Instagram, they're going to push that content more, and you'll have a greater likelihood of being seen as a business account too. Now, with a business account, one downfall is we don't get as many access to all of the sounds that are on Reels. So for example, if something is a trending sound and it's like a song that maybe is on the radio and something that's super popular, Instagram's going to go, nope, we're not going to be able to let you have that because you're making money potentially off of this sound. And if you're making money off of that song and off of that sound, then we have to pay royalties for that. So with having a business account, that is one downfall. However, I would say that the benefits of a business account definitely outweigh. Now, the other thing is with a business and a creator account, you can see insights, which is really, really helpful. So say I make a post on Instagram and I can see how many people viewed it. I can see where the people that viewed it are from, the age demographics, what time people are viewing things at. So I have a lot more access to seeing like, okay, this is when my network is online. This is when they're active. These are the kind of posts that they like. This is the kind of stuff that they want to see from me. And so I know better what to put out there versus with a personal account, I can't see that stuff. So it's really, really helpful to have that. The other thing is, and this is with connecting to Facebook. But when you connect your account to Facebook, how many of you guys have noticed that since connecting like your stories from Instagram to Facebook, that you don't get as many story views on your Facebook? Anybody notice that difference? And the reason is because Facebook doesn't want Instagram's leftovers. They don't want just, you to be like, oh, I'm just going to share the same content. They want to know that like you're an engaging member of that. Yes. So you noticed that as well, Brenda. They want to know that you're an engaging member on their social media platform. So they don't just want like you to be sharing content automatically from Instagram. Okay. So even though that is an option with a personal account, it really doesn't benefit you. I know for me, when I had a personal account and I shared my posts from Instagram to Facebook, I got zero visibility on anything that was shared in my Facebook. But I can upload the exact same content into Facebook and that post will blow up. So there really isn't a ton of benefit to having a personal account, because even though it will automatically share, like what's the point of it automatically sharing to Facebook if nobody's seeing what you're posting, right? So that's not really going to be a huge benefit. So the next thing we're going to talk about is our username. So we're going to dig a little bit deeper into this in a little bit, but your username is one of the things on Instagram that is now searchable. So when you are looking at, what people are looking for, you want to have something like that in your username. Now, I know there's conflicting information about this. Okay, guys, I know that there are people out there that are like, you need to have your name as your username, because how else are people going to find you if you don't have your name, and you need to be identifiable. Here's the thing though, like none of us are trying to be mega influencers on Instagram, right? If you want to be a mega influencer on Instagram and you want your name to be recognizable, this is probably not the training for you, because this training is specifically for people who want to generate sales on Instagram and who want to have contacts on Instagram that are going to convert to sales. Okay. That is a very different mindset than somebody who's going in thinking, I just want a lot of followers. I want to be Insta famous. I want to be recognizable. I want people to see my name, know me, all this stuff. Okay. That's great if that is what you're looking for, but that is a very different mindset than I have products that I believe are going to be helping people, and I want to share that on this platform so that I can reach more people and generate those contacts into purchasing and trying these products from me. Okay. You see how those are like two completely different mindsets. So we don't necessarily need to have that recognition with our name, right? And if we're also sharing our business on Facebook, we're not relying on Instagram to necessarily give us sales from our contacts that we already know. We're getting that on Facebook. We're getting that face-to-face. We're getting that with us reaching out to those people because that's our warm network. Our warm market and our warm network, those people already know us. They know our name. They know what we sell. They know what we're putting out there. But on Instagram, you're connecting with people like, they might look at my account and see my name. Like they don't care who I am, not yet anyways. They're going to get to know me, but they don't know me by my name. They want to know like, what is this profile? Who is this person? What is she offering? And what am I going to get from being a part of this Instagram page? And with Instagram, we really have like 5 seconds to capture somebody's attention, and they'll decide whether or not they want to follow us within that 5 seconds. So your name is part of that, is part of telling who you are and what you are bringing to the Instagram world. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is who should I follow? So we're going to want to follow our ideal client, and we're going to talk a little bit about why our ideal client is important in the next slide. But we want to follow people that are our target audience. So I know my network specifically, like I connect a lot with moms, I connect a lot with young women, I connect with faith-based people just because that's a lot of the content that I put out there. I connect with people who are confident and want to learn more and grow in themselves. That's my ideal client. So I'm going to follow people who are putting that out there on their Instagram as well. The next thing is to follow 5 bigger accounts that your ideal client will likely follow. So this doesn't necessarily have to be somebody who is like similar to what you're doing. Like say you're an esthetician and you're like, oh, I'm going to follow this like mega star esthetician and I'm going to get a lot of their followers because they have a big account. So not necessarily. I'm going to give you an example, and this is kind of funny. Don't judge me, okay? Guilty pleasure. I love watching The Bachelor. That's just like something my mom and I did growing up, and we would watch The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. And so I'm like, there's probably a lot of other moms that watch The Bachelor and Bachelorette, or like younger women that I connect with. That is my ideal client, and that is my network. And so I follow some of the bigger Bachelor accounts, and I engage with those accounts. So what happens is, say you have a bigger account that you follow and you engage with their content and you go in the comments and you're kind of like talking back and forth with people in the comments, guess what? They're going to follow you. Or you're going to follow more of your ideal client, that you're going to find them, that you're going to follow them. You're going to engage with their content. And it's going to be really weird if you're constantly engaging with them and they're not engaging with you. So more than likely what's going to happen is they're going to be like, who is the Sarah person that is always liking my posts and commenting? And they're going to hop on and they're going to see your page and they're going to follow you as well. So that's why we want to choose 5 bigger accounts that our ideal client would likely follow. And we want to write those things down, those people down, so that we can make sure and we engage with those people when it's time for us to be engaging on social media. The next thing is to follow some medium-sized accounts that our ideal client likely follows too. So 5 bigger accounts, and then choose a couple like medium-sized accounts. So the bigger accounts can have like 1 million. The medium-sized accounts can have 20,000 to 200,000, something like that. Those are, I would consider, more medium-sized accounts. Anything under 10,000, I would say those are like great size accounts, but it's not necessarily like a huge account or anything like that. So 5 bigger accounts and then a couple medium-sized accounts that our ideal client will likely follow. So why is my ideal client important? Don't I want to reach everyone? And I get asked this question a lot because people are always like, well, I don't want to refuse anybody my services and I don't want to refuse anybody my products. So why would I have an ideal client? And the answer is, when you try to talk to everyone, you actually talk to no one. The more specific that you make your message, the more you will attract the people who need what you're offering. So small little fact about me. I used to be a songwriter. I still am a songwriter. I just am not like pursuing that as a career. But I used to be a songwriter. And I remember one of the things that one of my songwriting coaches told me, and this was more so pertaining to country music. I don't know if it fits every genre. I think it does. But how many of you guys would listen to a song and say that the more specific the song is, the more you relate to it? Like it could literally be a song where they're like, it was a Wednesday and it was snowing outside and I could feel whatever was happening in the air. And this was this beautiful love story. You're going to put yourself in that situation and you're going to remember feelings that you had when you were in a similar situation. So the more specific that the song is, the more people relate to it, which is kind of crazy, but it's true. And you can totally, next time you're listening to a song, you're going to be like, that's a very specific song. And I totally see myself in it. So this kind of goes the same. We want to make our message very specific and tailored to a specific person so that those are the people that we're attracting. Those are the people that we know that what we have is something amazing and we want to offer a solution for those people. One of the things that probably drives me more crazy than anything right now that I see a lot on social media is I see a lot of like different people in network marketing or business or coaches where, you know, all that they're putting out there is what they do and what they have to offer. So like they'll say something like, I help women heal their guts and, you know, get rid of their anxiety or different things like that. That's just an example. And that's really great. And I love that, you know, we're putting what we're doing out there. My bio has that in there as well. But you also have to somewhere have in there, like, what are they gaining from you? Not like me. This is what I do. This is what I offer. This is who I am. This is what I'm putting out there. That is what everybody else is doing. What a lot of people aren't doing is this is you. This is who you are. And this is what you're going to get from following my page. This is what you're going to get from buying my products. This is what you're going to get from connecting with me. We don't want to be the hero of somebody else's story. We want to show them that they are the hero of their own story and that our products and who we are in our business fit within that story. And this is how you're going to become the hero of your own story, is by XYZ. So make it more about who they are, and you have to know who that person is if you want to reach that person, right? So we're going to have a little bit of homework at the end of this, and part of your homework is going to be creating that ideal client and who you want to connect with. So can you give a specific example? So for me, I'm going to say my ideal client is a Southern mom who is somebody that's faith-oriented, somebody who had a career in the past, but gave it up to stay home with their kids. And now they're a stay-at-home mom, but they're seeking something more. They want to do something else. They don't want their identity to just be tied to being a stay-at-home mom because they were super driven in their career before, and they want to have an identity outside of that. So that is going to be my ideal client. And so what I'm going to be sharing and what I'm going to be posting, I'm going to always have in mind, like, let's say I'm going to name my ideal client Veronica. I'm going to always be posting like, what does Veronica need to hear today? What is a problem that she has that I can solve? So I'm always thinking about what is my ideal client? What is she suffering with? What is she struggling with? What does she want? What is going to make her smile? What's going to make her laugh? What's going to make her feel good? And those are the different types of things that I share. And I'm always thinking about, like, what does this person need to hear every time that I share? Does that help answer your question, Brenda? Okay, perfect. Okay, so the next one is, what type of hashtags should I follow? So you can follow hashtags just like you follow people. And the way that you do that is you hit the little search bar at the bottom of your screen. And at the very top, you can search for hashtags, just like you can search for people's accounts. So let's say I'm going to put in soccer mom. That's something I'm going to put in as a name. So it's going to give me my top things, my accounts that I can follow, audio that I can use, tags or places. So I'm going to hit tags, and there's going to be different hashtags that are going to pop up. So the first one that I see is soccer mom. It has 1.5 million posts, and I'm going to hit follow on that. And what's going to happen is in my news feed, when I refresh my news feed, I'm going to periodically see posts that people are using that hashtag with. So right now I just had one that popped up. I have SAHM life, which is stay at home mom life, as one of the hashtags that I follow. So I just had a post pop up that was using that hashtag. So just like you would have accounts in your news feed, you're also going to have hashtags in your news feed. So you're going to want to find a couple hashtags that you think your ideal client is using. So the point of hashtags is to help your posts reach a target audience, attract followers in your niche, increase engagement, and develop a more recognizable brand. Based on this information, what are some hashtags that you think your ideal client would use? Okay, perfect. Yes, you can definitely catch the recording. So what are some hashtags that you think your ideal client would use? You can put that, either write it down or put it in the chat. But for me, again, like faith moms is one, stay at home mom life is one, soccer moms is one. I have one like career mom, just different things that I think that my ideal client would use. And then I also have some local ones. So I follow like my local town. Whenever somebody uses like Dresden, Tennessee as a hashtag, I'm going to catch that up, or West Tennessee, I'm going to find that, because I also want to connect with local moms and I want to connect with local people, because I just think it's super fun having relationships with my clients that are local as well. So I follow those also. So we want to make sure that we're not just following people that we think our ideal client would follow, but also hashtags that we think our ideal client will follow. This is a question that a lot of people ask. It's how many hashtags should I use? So 30 hashtags is the maximum number that you can use on Instagram. And the average number that gets used is 11. Half of Instagram accounts use between 1 and 3. So there really isn't a magic number. You're going to have to figure out your magic number. And the way that you do that is, again, with your insights. So if you have a business or a creator account, you can see your insights and see how many people you are reaching with each post. So make a post that only uses 3 hashtags. Make a post that uses 30 hashtags. Make a post that uses 15 hashtags, and just kind of test it out and see how you're getting the most visibility. For me personally, I get the most visibility when I use about 20 hashtags. So I'm not like a super well-known account or anything like that. So I still have to use quite a few hashtags in order for people to find me. So Instagram is working to have more searchable content, but in the meantime, hashtags are still how you can search for things and be found. So they're a gold mine. A lot of people say like, oh, you don't need hashtags anymore because Instagram, you can search people's content now. Like say I made a post about summertime, and the keyword summertime is in my post, and somebody searches summertime. Ideally, Instagram is working towards that being searchable, but as of right now, that is still in the process. So hashtags are still how people are finding our content if they're not already following us. So we want to make sure that we are using hashtags. And the other thing is, we want to be using hashtags that don't have too many uses. I think I'm going to actually talk about this in a few slides, but if you're using a hashtag that has 1 million uses, the chances of you being at the top where people are going to see it when they search for it is very, very slim. Okay, so which hashtags to use? We want to look at what our competition is using. So find an account that is maybe similar to what you want, or similar to what you're going for, and look at what they're using. Write those things down. I use an app called HishHash where I have everything saved, and it's just a really easy way for me to organize my hashtags. You can do different topics, like within my HishHash, I have local hashtags as a category, and I put all my local hashtags in there. I have mom life as a category. I have blended family as a category. I have faith as a category. So just the different things that you post about, you can organize all of your hashtags within that and share directly from HishHash as well. Okay, so what is your competition using? You also want to look at what your ideal clients are using. So find a couple of people that you're like, man, this would just be a dream teamer, or this is somebody who I think would just like share the product and be amazing. Like, what are they using? What are they talking about? And then also use niche specific hashtags. So if you use the same hashtags every single time on every single post, Instagram is going to go, this is spam, and not actually show your content to anybody, because they want you to have hashtags that are specific to what you're posting about. So say that I just made a post about new shoes that I got my son. I'm going to want to use hashtags that are specific to boy mom life, that are specific to shoes or just sports or different things like that. I'm not going to want to use like my faith mom's hashtags, because it has nothing to do with that specific post. Okay, so use hashtags on every post, and then search the hashtags that you plan to use and see who's using them, what kind of content is there, and if it's banned for whatever reason. So if you search a hashtag and nothing pops up, that means that it's shadow banned by Instagram. And if you use that hashtag, your post is going to be shadow banned. So we don't want that. And then also, you know, I used to use like the boss moms, and I still use that periodically. If like today I used it because my post was specifically geared towards this Instagram training. So I wanted to attract people who are like in network marketing or social selling in that industry. But, you know, say I'm trying to get people on my team and I'm in network marketing and I use the hashtag boss moms. If I click on that hashtag, 99.99999% of the people using it are also people in network marketing that are looking for people to be on their team. So more than likely, I'm not going to find my person within that hashtag because they're looking for the same thing that I'm looking for. Okay. So you want to look at who's using that hashtag, what kind of posts are using that hashtag, and make sure that that's really what you want to be putting out there. And then the last one is to use location hashtags. So like I said, I use like West Tennessee or Southern Mom or different things like that, because I want to connect with people that are local to me as well. Okay, so how many uses has this hashtag had? More isn't always better. If a hashtag has already been used on millions of posts, the chances are your post will be drowned out amongst the masses. On the other hand, if a hashtag only has a few hundred posts, it's likely no one is searching for it on Instagram or the Explore page. So aim for hashtags that have 10,000 to like 200,000 uses. Sometimes I'll use a couple hashtags that have like 1 million uses, but then I'll use the smaller ones as well, because say I make a post and I'm using a hashtag that has 10,000 uses, and all of a sudden it starts trending on that hashtag that has 10,000 uses. Instagram's going to go, this is relevant content. Maybe people want to see this. And it might push it to the hashtags that also have 1 million uses. So I always try to have 1 or 2 that have higher, but the majority of the hashtags that I'm using have 10,000 to 200,000. Does this make sense to everybody? Okay, cool. Just making sure that makes sense as well. So what hashtags are people that are trending in my industry? What are some hashtags that people that are trending in my industry are using? A lot of times we think that we have to reinvent the wheel and just be like authentic and unique and different. And those things are all great. Like we want to be different. We want to have our secret sauce and set ourselves apart. But just like a baby mimics an adult, and that's how they learn until they find their own personality and flow, you can do the same. And eventually you're going to find your own path in your flow. So I really like using hashtags and kind of the same color schemes and the same type of posts of a few people that I'm like, man, they're doing exactly what I want to be doing. So I might use some of their stuff, not use their content, but use some of their same strategy. And then I'm going to say, okay, so I've kind of seen what works for me. This feels more like more of my personality. This feels a little bit different. So you kind of find your footing a little bit. But at the beginning, when you're just starting out, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just use what other people are using. Honestly, you guys, every single other person, like that person that you're looking up to and saying, I want to do what they're doing, they did the same thing. Okay. So it's okay to look to them for a little bit of guidance and a little bit of help, and then find your own footing and your own way of doing things from that. So a couple tips and tricks for getting off on the right foot. The first one is to curate a list of 20 to 30 hashtags that align with your main content themes, which you can quickly adjust and add to each post, and then develop a brand look, but don't get stuck in it. The key is brand recognition, not perfection. So a lot of times people are like, does this fit my brand? And they spend 6 months building their brand and they're not actually putting any content out there. We don't want to do that. I always say done is better than perfect. I would rather have you put imperfect content out there than for you not to put any content because you're paralyzed about, I don't know what to post. I don't know if this matches within my themes. If you guys look at my personal Instagram is Be Purposely. And if you guys look at that Instagram page, you'll notice that a lot of my color schemes are the same. When I do have quotes that I put out there, they're within the same colors and the same like font family. So I'm not putting a post out there that's just like completely off the wall and looks like a meme and is totally different than everything else that I post. If I have something that like just doesn't match the colors at all, then more than likely I'll make it a black and white post just so that it doesn't like really mess up with the feed. But you don't want to get stuck in that. You don't want to get like caught in this web of, well, I don't know if this is going to match, and I don't know what to post, and I don't know what my brand is, and I don't know what my ideal client is, and I don't know what I'm putting out there. You'll figure it out as you go. But if you feel like you're at a place where you're a little bit more confident in the content that you're creating, at that point, start to develop a brand look. Think about like, what colors do I want to put out there? What vibe do I want to put out there? Like, am I constantly posting really upbeat, happy things, but then my color schemes are like really dark and moody? Like, that's probably not going to flow. And also on the other hand, if you're using like pastel-y colors and then you're posting like really deep, heavy things, like that's not going to flow either. So you want to think about that as well. When you're posting things. And like I said, the key is brand recognition. So for me at this point, especially when I post a quote, if somebody's scrolling on Instagram, they can look at it and say, oh, this is probably Janina. Like, they'll recognize what I put out there because it's within my color scheme and it's kind of within that font family. Number 3 is to be patient with yourself. Instagram takes time and practice, but it can yield huge benefits. Go back to your why. Why are you on Instagram? Who do you want to connect with? And then just give yourself a lot of grace. The next one is to take baby steps and do them consistently. So if all of this is like super overwhelming for you, pick 2 things that I talked about, just 2. Just pick 2 of the things that we shared about and focus on doing those 2 things until it becomes second nature. And then after that, once you've kind of mastered that, add on some of the other things. Take baby steps and then just do them well until you don't really have to put a lot of effort into it. And the number 5, again, done is better than perfect. We just want to get content out there because people aren't going to know who you are, what you're offering, and who you're connecting with if you're not putting content out there. Okay, so this is another controversial topic, is follow loops. Most of the bigger, I would say, like the Instagram famous accounts or like the people who are Instagram influencers, they're going to say not to do follow loops. And again, for influencers, I would agree with that because there's absolutely no point in doing a follow loop if you're trying to just be an influencer on Instagram. But if you want to connect with your potential buyers and you want to connect with people who are going to potentially, be part of your team or somebody that is going to convert into a customer, then why not connect with people that we want to follow them and engage with them, and we want them to follow us. So the do's and don'ts of follow loops, what it is, first of all, because I know not everyone knows what this is, it's basically like a follow for follow. You have a bigger account that they're going to say, hey, like, who wants to do our next follow loop? And if you say yes, then all of the people they say that says yes, and they'll usually limit it to like 150 people, 100 people, something like that. They will follow those accounts. And then on a specific day and time, they'll say, okay, if you want more followers and you want to grow on your followers, follow all of the people that this account is following. And you're going to be one of those people. And then the thing is, you follow those people back. So they follow you and you follow them back. So with that, you can see why, like, if you're trying to be an influencer, there's really no benefit to that. But if you really are like, man, I have no idea how I'm going to connect with like-minded people, or I have no idea how I'm going to find people, and it's going to take years for me to get this hashtag thing down, then a follow loop might be a good solution for you. So don't focus on the numbers. A lot of people will get like the follow and unfollow apps. And if somebody unfollows them, they like unfollow them back and all this stuff. And they just focus on how many followers they have. Y'all, when I lose followers, I'm like, okay, great. Like, that leaves room for people who are my people. Because one of the things that Instagram looks at is they look at how much engagement you have based on a percentage of how many followers you have. So if you have 10,000 followers and you're getting one like on your posts, Instagram's like, well, their content must not be pretty good because they have so many followers, but they're not getting any engagement. But say you have 200 followers and you have 50 likes on a post, Instagram's going to keep pushing your content. You guys, it is better to have 200 followers with 25% of your people engaging than it is to have 10,000 followers and have 1% engaging. Okay. So don't focus on the number of followers that you have. And, you might be like, well, I only have 50 followers. Well, guess what? Imagine being in a room in front of 50 people. You would look at that differently, right? Like, you would be like, oh my gosh, there's 50 people that are listening to me talk right now. Like, 50 people is a lot of people. So we want to treat those people as if they matter, because they do. And as though we want to put out good content for however many followers we have. The next one is, don't join random giveaways. Don't join random follow loops. So, if there's a giveaway that's like, we're giving away $100,000. Okay, well, you can do a giveaway with that and, put in $50 towards that or whatever, and they're going to follow you and everyone else is going to follow you. And that's great and all, but none of those people are your ideal client. Like, you don't know who those followers are. You don't know if they're going to like your content, if they're going to engage with your content. So what's the point of that? So some of the do's: do find giveaways and follow loops that cater to your audience. So I do some motherhood follow loops, and basically, like, I have a Christian moms follow loop and another mother follow loop that I am a part of periodically. I have not done one in probably about 6 months now. It's been a while since I've done one. So this is not something that you should do every day, like maybe once a month, maybe twice a month. But honestly, I would say like no more than once a month, or every other month. So you don't want to get to doing these too much. And I'll talk a little bit about that. But you want to find ones that cater to your audience. So one way that you could do that is to search hashtags. So say that part of your network is career moms. You can search the hashtag career mom follow loop and see if anything pops up. So find your ideal client and search for a follow loop that does that and ask to be a part of their next one. The next thing is you want to be engaging with those people. So if I do a follow loop, I make sure that the week after I'm super active on Instagram and engaging with those people, because I don't just want followers for the numbers. I want people that, again, are going to convert to sales. So I want to engage with that new audience. I'm going to be in their stories. I'm going to be liking their posts. And then you do want to focus on content directly before and after giveaways and follow loops. So say I'm going to do a follow loop tomorrow. I'm going to make sure I have killer content today, because all those new people that are going to follow me are going to see my last post. And I'm going to make sure that the posts I make after that are like specifically really niche specific, so that, you know, they're going to follow that, they're going to see my content, and they're going to engage in it. So we don't just want to do random things. We don't want to do one every week. I see it a lot where, you know, people will do one and they're like, oh my gosh, I grew by 300 followers. And then they're doing one the next day and the next day and the next day. How many of you guys are able to connect with 300 people in a month? None of us, right? Like, it's not possible. We would literally be attached to our phones 24/7. And even then not be able to connect with that many people. It is better for you to get 50 new followers that you can engage with and kind of sift through. You know, again, there's gonna be people that you're like, not really my person, not really my vibe. Unfollow them, let them unfollow you. It doesn't matter. We don't want people to be on our Instagram just for the sake of having a number up there. We want people who we're going to connect with, and again, who are going to convert to sales. So don't just randomly throw a dart and do too many of these. I think that when a lot of these influencers and social media coaches say not to do these, I think they're focusing on the people who are doing it to the extreme just to get their follower numbers up. And we're not doing that. We're doing that very intentionally to connect with the people that are our ideal client. All right. So does anybody here have a link tree or a page similar to a link tree? Or know what it is? So our Instagram bio can only hold one link. So you'll see when you go to your Instagram, in the settings, you can add a link, and you can use an external website or app that hosts all of your links. So Linktree is my favorite. And the reason is it's just really simple to use. There's a free version and a paid version. Basically, the paid version just has more like customizable options and customizable colors, but the free version is what I use, and there's really no benefit to me to using the paid version unless I was just like super, super stickler about my branding and everything, like my logo being on there and stuff like that. So, but with Linktree, say I get on there and I can put my Facebook. I like to connect my Facebook on my Linktree so that they have a way of contacting me. You can also do contact information on Linktree now as well, where you can put like your email address, where people can email you directly. Another thing I see people do on Linktree a lot is they'll have like something that has to do with their products. Like they might have a skincare quiz or a gut health quiz or different things. And then at the bottom, they have to enter in their email in order to get like a free consultation with you. Another thing you could do is a link to getting a free sample. But again, you want to make sure that whatever you're linking on here are things that it connects them back to you. So this is kind of my tip at the bottom. If you're in social marketing, don't link your direct website. You want to link a way to connect with you. We don't want random people going to our website and never contacting us. First of all, they can go to the website, somehow get lost. They order under somebody different. And then we never know that they ordered. We don't know how to follow up with them. They don't get the customer care that they need, and they end up dropping off. So we want to make sure that we're helping our people out and giving them ways to connect with us. So again, if we give them the link to getting a sample, they have to enter in their phone number and their email address in order to get that sample. So we're connecting with them in that way. Connecting a way for them to get into your social media. If you have a group that's like a testimonial group, I like to link that as well so that they can go and read other testimonies. And then other things that I link are just fun things that I like. Like I might link some of my favorite Amazon items, or I might link, Obviously, I do Pink Life swag, so I'll link my website there. So you can do other things other than your business and just keep it fun. Okay, so our day one homework is to create an Instagram if you don't already have one. And number two is to create or change your Instagram username if needed. You can only do this every 14 days. So make sure that you like it. Make sure that it's something you're not just like, oh, let's see if this is something that's available or not. And you click that this is your name and you can't change it for 14 days. Number three is to choose 5 bigger accounts to follow and engage with. Number 4 is to find 10 hashtags to follow and engage with. And number 5 is to create your 20 to 30 hashtag list based on content that you put out there and who your ideal client is. So you can take a screenshot of this if you want to make sure and get this homework done. And I'm not checking to make sure you did it, but this is just something that's going to be good and beneficial for you after this free training. All right, so if you liked this content, this is actually what is our day one of our social media overhaul. So we have 21 days that we do 7 days of Instagram focus, 7 days of Facebook focus. And it's literally things like this. I go a little bit slower because the first time that I did this, we did it in 14 days. And it was just a lot of content, a lot of information, and people got a little bit lost. So we extended it. But it's 7 days specifically on Instagram, 7 days of Facebook training, and then we learn how to batch create and schedule content, how to convert those contacts to sales. And then we do 7 days of Q&A calls, personalized one-on-one Zooms, and we have a really supportive group of people that help one another out. And I also do it to where if you take this course one time, you're invited to take it every single time. So like say you get lost the first time and I offer it again next month, you can take it again the next month too. And honestly, there's a lot of information in here, but I do worksheets for homework. All of the Zooms are recorded. And with the personalized one-on-one call, I go through and have an hour with the person, but I look at the social media ahead of time and kind of look and say, like, this is what needs to change. This is what we can do differently. And kind of help you find that ideal client and that direction and branding if that's something that you need help with. And you guys, even just the one-on-one call alone, most coaches charge for what I'm doing in 21 days, just for that one-on-one call. So definitely a really great value there. And then today through the next 72 hours, I'm doing $40 off. And you will use code MAYSOCIAL. Now, one other thing that I'm doing is if you get 5 people to do this with you, yours is free. So say you purchase it, you get 5 people to take this course with you. You give me their names and I'll reimburse you for the total so that yours is free. And the reason that I'm so passionate about this is we actually had quite a few people that were a part of this a few months back. And every single one of those people either re-ranked in their business or got to a new rank or just actually had a couple people who were boutique owners and estheticians as well. So it's beneficial for everyone. And their businesses just exploded. And so sometimes we just need a little bit of tweaking and a little bit of redirection. Like we already have the information. You know, a lot of us, we can do the coaching that's on YouTube, and we've had amazing people come and talk to us about different things with social media, but it's a little bit different when you're relating it to yourself. Like, okay, I understand what this person is saying, but how does this actually translate to me and my business and who I am and my social media? So that's what this is for, is kind of like bridging that gap between the information that we have and actually putting it into action for ourselves. So if you feel like that's something that would be beneficial, we start next Monday on the 16th, and it is going to go for 21 days. And again, everything's recorded and you'll have lifetime access to all of the courses after that. So definitely let me know. Do you guys have any questions about any of this information before we hop off of here? You can either unmute yourself or you can put it in the chat as well. All right, well, if there are no questions, thank you ladies for being on here, and I'll get you guys this recording so that you can go back and look at things, or you can share it with some other people as well. But I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye, guys.